Erdogmus is playing with the black pieces, and he's playing against Aditya Mittal, 2600 level player from India, also a young guy, hoping to get into 2700. Sit back, relax, throw me up on the smart TV while you run errands in your living room. I'll tell you when you gotta lock in. The game begins with an English opening, c4, e6. Knight c3, d5. Black is playing in the style of the Queen's Gambit declined, looking to put pressure on the center, which is why White responds right away with the move d4. Already on the third move, rather than playing the traditional Queen's Gambit declined, reinforcing the center, Erdogmus plays a strange move, pawn takes c4. This is a free pawn, but it allows White to very quickly play the move e4, taking full control of the center and trying to take back the pawn on c4 with the bishop. Erdogmus obviously knew that that was the best move, so he strikes back immediately with c5. He has clearly prepared a non-standard opening for his opponent, Aditya Mittal. Mittal is one of the best prepared opponents in the world. Like, his opening preparation is amazing. So it's good to get him off his comfort zone. White plays the move pawn to d5. Black captures, and now is like, look, I'm not going to be able to defend this pawn, so let me just develop my knight, my bishop, my castle, my king. So bishop to d6, we have bishop c4, and now, rather than putting the knight on the standard square on f6, we have the non-standard square e7. So it's quite clear that Black is very happy developing in a non-standard fashion. And Erdogmus, by the way, has some really, really deep opening preparation, both with White and Black. He is very quickly becoming my favorite player. He might already be my favorite player. So h3, look at White's time. Mittal spends 15 minutes. Now, if you ask Mittal what is the most natural move here, he would tell you knight f3 in half a second. But he kind of got worried that Black would pin the knight to the queen, and then, maybe I should go here, maybe I should play h3. So he plays h3, but it's a little bit slow because it allows Black to very quickly castle. And now Black shows that he had no interest developing the bishop at all. He develops the knight. So he develops the knight to d7 with ideas of going to b6, where it would target White's bishop, targets White's pawn. Obviously, the game is not going to get too spicy just yet. Both guys are committing their pieces. Here, knight b6, and Mittal is like, you can take my bishop. You can take it. Because if you take my bishop, he's kind of already a big pawn anyway. He's sort of an imposter in this connect 4 sequence. You can trade. I will reinforce my center. I'll put my rook here, put my other rook here, put my bishop out. I'm going to be very happy. And it's true. White does a very, very open, very airy position, right? Erdogmus is like, I think that's a good trade for me anyway. Knight for bishop. Now I will develop my knight. And then my next move is to put my bishop over here. So both guys kind of get what they want from the opening. They got all their pieces out. Knights, bishops, castle their king. Their rooks are coming next. And then the queen. And now it's time for the middle game. So Mittal plays knight e4. He's like, I don't want you to have the bishop pair. I don't like your blockade here. If we trade pieces, my pawn will be very strong. It might become a queen one day. More on that later. More on that later. Black, completely unconcerned. Bishop to f5. You can take my bishop. If you take my bishop, I'm very happy. I replace it with the queen. My bishop is strong. I'll play b6. Put my rooks, in the middle. Life is good. Okay. Knight takes. Queen takes. Queen b3. Pawn's under attack. We play b6. Black is very solid. Very nice position for Black. Totally equal. What's the game plan, right? Mittal plays a4. In the long run, he wants to play a5, using his flank pawn, wants to break into Black's position, create some weaknesses, maybe go win those pawns in the long run, sneak around the back, right? Something like this. a5. Erdogmus completely shuts that down and is like, look, I know I have a weakness, but I will defend it. And it's never going to be that much of a liability. Plus, White also, we kind of have mutually assured destruction of the pawns. Okay. Rook e1. Okay. Rook e8. Not much is happening, but bishop e3 is a nice move, keeping the tension in the position. White plays rook a2. Now, what's really crazy is the move rook a2 is the beginning of the end. How is that possible? How did this move? Well, it allows Black now to kind of take control of the position. He establishes bishop to e4. The idea of this move is to obviously take the knight and open up White's king. So White could move the knight, defend the knight, or move the bishop so the queen defends the knight. So what does White do? Bishop, knight, oh, okay, moves the knight. Bishop d2 was better, but he moves the knight, and he wants to take the bishop. Erdogmus now, not just with bishop e4, but also with knight to h4, begins swarming the king, and is ready to give away his bishop to establish control with the rook, bring his second rook, and bring his queen to launch an attack on the White king. And he's currently evaluating that his position has better long-term prospects. So Mittal Whoa. Mittal in this position senses that it might be the moment that you got to do something. So he plays bishop c5. The bishop bulldozes the pawn so that the rook can see the bishop. But Erdogmus plays queen g6, threatening checkmate, supported both by the bishop and by the knight, which means you got to defend the square. And white plays g3. But Erdogmus is, first of all, he's got a dog in his name. This man is a dog. Like, he is, when he senses something, he's got this killer instinct. He is ready to sink his teeth in. He plays the move bishop g2. What a move! Giving up the knight. But if you take the knight, the queen will see the king once the bishop moves. Not to mention, there is a peekaboo happening of rooks, and the bishop is still hanging. So, white now plays the amazing bishop e7, both young guys trading haymakers, defended by the rook, hitting the knight. Erdogmus plays the best move, bishop takes h3. He takes a pawn. Now his bishop's not under fire from the king, and this can't be taken, and if you take, I'm going to take the rook. So white plays king to h2, attacking the bishop. And now comes knight into g2. Oh my goodness, the bishop hangs, but the bishop is defending the knight. And the knight is attacking the rook, so the rook has to move up to e5. He finds it. Now the best move from black is f6. Erdogmus finding it with 6 minutes remaining on the clock. The rook is hanging. White plays queen. Look at this wicked stuff. If you take the free pawn, you pin the pawn to the queen. Queen b6. Now, again, the best move from Erdogmus. Knight f4. He threatens to take the rook because the queen is defended by the knight, which is hanging, but you can't take it because of queen to g2, which would be made defended by the bishop, which is defended by the knight. Rook e4. Attacking the knight. Queen h5. Brilliant move. If you take the knight with the pawn, I have bishop f5 check, and then I swarm your king. If you take the knight with the rook, I have bishop g4 check. Mittal takes. Bishop g4 discovered check. The king slides back to g1. Now I grab the bishop. Now I am straight up threatening to just swarm you on the back rank and win the game. White's time is very limited. For the record, remember the move rook a2 was the beginning of the end? I was not lying. If the rook was defending the first rank, white would play d6 here and be on the verge of winning the game. Rook a1 back. That is the important move. Now, rook to e8, threatening rook e1 check. We have rook to f1 defending himself. Rook to e1 is still the best move. Erdogmus plays not the best move. He attacks the rook, and now the move rook to h4 gets white back into the game. But he plays d6. And folks, from this point forward, the teenage prodigy from Turkey plays a breathtaking game. Rook to e2, coming in, attacking the knight, and this is still under fire. White plays rook to h4, counterattacking the queen, counterattacking the bishop. The queen slides over here, and we have queen b5, setting up a queen trade and trying to promote this pawn. Rook e5, getting the rook out of the way, counterattacking the queen. d7. Now, d7 is a blunder. But it's only a blunder if you are an absolute genius. And in this position, Erdogmus, the teenage superstar of Turkish chess, played rook takes d2. But now white can go check here and make a queen. There are 2 queens on the board. Certainly you have to take the queen and then play that ensuing endgame. No. Because in this position, he had spotted checkmate in 6 moves. And it begins by sacrificing his queen. Queen takes f2 check. Rook takes f2, rook to e1 check, the king goes to h2, the rook takes the rook, the king takes the bishop, the rook goes to h1, the king goes to g4, the pawn goes to f5, king to h5, pawn to g6, check, mate. 2 queens on the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 checkmates in one for white. None of them are possible because the rooks and the pawns swarm the king, beginning with the sacrifice of the queen on the f2 square. Erdogmus, you should have taken a bow for this game. This is the best finish of 2025. Nobody will beat it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And he spotted all of this with 1 minute on his clock. The chess world is absolutely effed. We don't curse on this channel. We try to keep it family friendly.